Hey everyone, Dan here. We are about an hour after market close on Tuesday, June 22nd. Today we're going to take an updated look at clean energy fuel. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also feel free to click the button below in the description to join my free email list, which doesn't actually do anything yet, but I'm planning on rolling out over the next couple of months as folks sort of like seem interested and, give us additional touch points throughout the week. I'm thinking just one or two, not an overwhelming number of emails in a week, and just sort of like some supplemental or additional info beyond what I can get out with the videos, because the videos are quite time consuming, even though I do it in this very like low key kind of way. All right. Well, CLNE has been holding up really well with this chart that we had plotted last video that I had done. It came down and came up and filled these gaps. Well, this was topping out, but these were gaps. Broke out of this downtrend, consolidated out, and made another run up. Topped out at that 1249, which was previous topping out here, previous support over here and over here. So it was a very key level. And then now has retreated and is stuck under this, what is this exact price point? 1145 price zone that we have right here, but it is making a nice run up in the after hours today, which looks like it's due to, and I think there's sort of more to come exactly on this, but there was something about, let me see, I thought there was some new news out. Let me refresh this. Oh, there it is at the very top. So expects RNG produced from projects to be available beginning in H2 2022. So I went and I did a quick look, and here's the SEC documentation on this. I know you can't see this very well at the moment, so let me just fix that. So here's, basically what it says. This was just filed today, I believe. And okay, so June 21st, so this came out yesterday. I don't know if it was just released to the public today, or folks just happened to come across it today. But as previously disclosed, on April 13th, Clean Energy and BP Products North America executed an agreement that created a 50-50 joint venture called bpJV to develop, own, and operate new renewable natural gas, RNG, production facilities and dairies and other agricultural locations. Okay, so pursuant to this, on June 21st, 2022, so yesterday, the company contributed $50 million to bpJV and forced conversion of BP's Class B units into Class A units. The bpJV has several dairy RNG projects under development. Okay, so this thing that they're saying that they're going to produce is already under development, and the company expects these to be available beginning in the second half of 2022. So I think that this is, this is the only thing I can find that's driving this price action in the after hours. And so, we'll see if that continues to be something that drives the price up. But if so, we'll take it, because obviously there's been a lot of pushback here, and definitely enough sort of things going against CLNE that any boosts or anything that's helpful in the near term is definitely welcomed. So it is nice that it's starting to make these higher lows here, this slightly, because it's mostly sort of sitting at this 1106 support area, but it is trending slightly upward even after this big fall down yesterday. And it's going to sort of like be coming to a little bit of a point here tomorrow, or even in the after hours today. So we're looking for a potential breakout there. It's sort of like, it's not so dissimilar from what you saw over here, though it wasn't making the higher lows over here, but it's essentially, we want it to sort of confirm this breakout that it had in the second half of the day, where it was under this downtrend and now is broken out. So I'd love to see basically a repetition of what we saw over here, break out, consolidate a little bit, or skip the consolidation altogether and just launch yourself back up. Now the question this time will be, can it break that wall at 1249? I think a lot of factors are playing into that 1249. Obviously, it is a frequent supply and demand zone, But now that it'll be the fourth time touching it in the matter of just a few trading days, will it have consumed enough or all of the selling pressure that was there previously that prevented it from breaking out and getting support at 1249? And will that now allow it to do so? So that will sort of be the question. This isn't to ignore the fact that it still needs to first get support at this 1145 price zone that it's struggling with at the moment. So notwithstanding that, but that's what I'm going to be looking for in the immediate term. And then on the indicator side of things, MACD a little over the mid-range, so definitely nothing preventing it from jumping up quite a bit more. Especially nice to have a lot of room since it was nearly oversold here, and it has had this nice sort of green candlestick activity, and still it's just above the mid-range. So plenty of room to run there, and a nice bullish crossover at the moment. We're liking to see that MACD continue to get real estate or distance from that signal line, so that it looks something more like this with this increasing distance between them, to grow that bullish momentum in the after hours here. And it is coming from slightly underneath the baseline, so there's plenty of run room if it does want to push itself up and over. If we zoom in a little bit, take something more like the 5-day look, here's this downtrend that we're looking for it to break out of, that it has sort of done in the after hours today. So we're looking for that to hold for sure. There's an additional support zone developing here at this 1079 because of support here, and then resistance right back here. So something to look for. There's that sort of midway stopping point between this 1106 and 1057. But my hope is now that there's some good news to ride on the backs of, and it was already working itself out of this downtrend, maybe that will give it enough sort of buying pressure to push it up to this 1250-ish zone and give another run at that. But it is making a third or fourth attempt at this 1145 even. So this will sort of be a good kind of stress test to see, as CLNE is repeatedly hitting these resistance zones to the upside, is it consuming the sell strength there, or the sell pressure that it's been butting its head up against there and able to push through, or is it continuously still hitting a wall there and having to draw back? That'll be kind of the question at the moment. Let's take a quick look at the data before we flip over to anything else. So, here let's take a look at the short interest to see kind of where we are at the moment. So here we have estimated short interest of the free float last 24.53, previous to that 17.64, so a big uptick, almost a 40% uptick. So definitely shorts continuing to take notice and coming in. Today's changes from Tuesday at 7 a.m. Eastern time, plus 3.5%, give or take, on the short interest change. 1.37 million shares returned, almost 2.5 million then borrowed out. So there's your net increase. And then current short interest percent of the free float estimated to be 25.37. So fairly high percentage of the free float that is being shorted at the moment. And so definitely puts a lot of pressure on shorts if there is this bullish activity, if the market perceives this as good news, as good business prospects for CLNE, and can utilize this to to put a bunch of pressure on these shorts to close out, could have a little bit of a mini squeeze here just from the fact of increased volume, increased buying pressure due to this good news with a big partner in the space. Other than that, I think the only other thing that I would be looking for, is the potential for this is very, very early stage. So keep this in mind. But that said, I know I draw a lot of channels, and and I say, this is very early stage a lot of times. Sometimes I'm like, it's been in this channel for 6 months, and that's its own thing. But what we could be seeing here is lower bound, upper bound, lower bound twice, upper bound twice, and now it's pulled back, we see. So it's just 2 quick runs to both ends of the channel, or to both bounds of the channel, I should say, within just a trading day. So that's why I say it's like very, very in its infancy. So we have to let it continue to confirm that it is going to build a channel here. But if it does, it would be a nice time to catch it this early on in its life cycle, because then it will allow you to play dip buying at the bottom, profit taking at the top, rinse and repeat over and over and over again for however long it wants to hold this channel. That said, it may not form at all, so just allow it to continue to prove itself. If it's testing the bottom and shows some bouncing strength, some price strength as it hits the bottom bound of this channel, then it could be a good dip buy opportunity and a good take profit toward the top. But let it continue to prove itself out. That doesn't mean you need to stay out of it. Just be very, very mindful of what you're doing and know when you should be jumping in or jumping out based on how risky you want to be, but also the strategy with which you're playing. If it does form this channel, also then keep in mind all channels eventually break. It could be in this channel for a month. It could be in this channel for just one more day, but eventually all channels break. So just keep that in mind as well. The other possibility is, if there is a bunch of like bullish sentiment around the news that came out, that could potentially put us in this like parabolic kind of run up, and I certainly would not be opposed to that, as I have CLNE options. So that would help sort of fight the theta decay that I've been feeling in the last couple of days. But definitely watching this one closely. I was considering closing out my position today, but it sort of convinced me to let it take at least another day because of how it performed in the afternoon, and the potential that this channel was developing. So we'll see. I'll do my best to keep you all updated on what I see, what my thoughts and opinions are, but of course always do your own due diligence, put in your own work, and just mix anything that you hear with your own information and trust yourself the most always. All right, well, thanks a bunch for watching. I wish you the best if you're trading CLNE or whatever else you're trading, and I will see you in the next video.